Hello, and welcome to History 1302. My name is Dr. Daniel Bush, and I'll be your instructor for this course. Throughout the course, you can call me Dr. Bush, Mr. Bush, or Dan, whatever you prefer. I'm sitting here at home. This is where I do a lot of my work, and this is my home office. I hope you don't keep yours as messy as I keep mine. I thought it'd be a good idea to, in addition to the information that's presented on Blackboard, there'll be announcements like there's a welcome announcement on there now, and there will be an announcement on there every week throughout the 8 weeks of this course. I thought it'd be a good idea or helpful to include a few video presentations for the course. This first one is dedicated to giving an overview of the course, and so that's what I'm going to do over the next few minutes. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. Let me start by giving a little bit of background or additional background information about myself. There's a little bit in the instructor info link in Blackboard. I grew up in Michigan, near Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's where the University of Michigan is. And then as a young man, I served as a Marine grunt in the war in Vietnam. After the war, I moved to Seattle. Later attended the University of Washington, where I earned a PhD in history, and over the last few years since then I've been teaching in the Seattle-Tacoma area. If you haven't done so already for this course, I strongly advise reading thoroughly both pages of the syllabus, maybe especially page 2. Paying attention to the requirements for the course and the course schedule. This is a self-paced course, so you have the ability to set your own schedule in the course. But I highly recommend trying to stick to that course schedule that's listed in the syllabus on page 2. It'll help you keep on track throughout the course. This course is organized into 8 lessons, and we could go, like if you're on Blackboard, I'm going to do it right now. You can click on Lessons in the navigation menu on the left, and you'll see it'll open up a page and there'll be 8 lessons listed there. If you click on lesson 1, for example, you'll see several folders with information in there, and if you scroll down near the bottom, there's a folder called Graded Assignments. If you open that up, then you'll see many, if not all, of the graded assignments listed for the course in each of the lessons. So for example, I open up lesson 1, I'm looking at it now, and you see at the top of the screen there's a lesson quiz. There's also a discussion posting or a discussion board forum for every lesson. You can access it through the lesson, or in the navigation menu on the left there's discussion board link, which will take you directly there. Most of the readings at the discussion board, these are supplemental readings, are what we call primary sources. Those forums are going to ask a series of questions which will help to lead you to post an analysis of the reading. Primary sources are fundamentally different than other sources, like a secondary source, like our textbook. Primary sources are basically anything that's contemporary to the time that was produced, contemporary to the time that's under study. For example, if you're studying the Civil War, anything that was produced during that time could be letters, diaries, speeches, newspaper articles, even physical objects like uniforms, weapons, buildings, battle sites. All of those are examples of primary sources. In order to understand and to analyze a source like that, it's necessary to what we call place it within the larger context of the history. In other words, how does this relate to the larger story or the larger history that was going on at the time? And where do you get that? Well, you get that from the textbook. Or you can also look up information online or in other places to gain that sense of the larger history. You really need that to analyze primary sources. Primary sources are the foundation in many ways of historical inquiry, so it's important for us to learn how to handle them. The next assignment that would appear in the lesson and there's two of them for every lesson, and they're chapter reading exercises. These are questions that are basically drawn right out of the textbook readings, and so you can use the textbook to answer them, to address them. There's certain requirements there, like certain word limits. I think they're all within the range of 200 and 250 words. And on these assignments, it's very important that you use your own words. There's no need, don't copy and paste. No need to copy and paste anything. You don't want to do that. You don't need to use quotes in these. Really, it's an exercise on understanding specific topics within the textbook, and also learning how to take that information and summarize it in your own words. And so, like I said, there's two of them for every lesson, and they're listed in that graded assignments folder. There's also another writing assignment in this course, are what we call journals. There's 2 journals. Each journal will be composed of 10 separate entries. These entries are chosen by choosing specific topics out of the textbook readings, choosing something hopefully that you're interested in. Could be a person, could be a battle, could be a law, could be whatever you want to choose to do. And then looking up information on it out of the textbook, if necessary, doing extra research, a bit of extra research, and then writing a short summary of it. And then doing that 10 times on 10 different topics, saving them up, and then submitting them all at once as Journal 1. Again, there's no reason you don't want to copy and paste anything or quote anything. Just summarize, use your own words. Once you get the 10 entries collected, save them all into one document, and then submit them all as your first journal. That's in the first half of the course. It's recommended that that be submitted by the end of week 4 or the end of lesson 4. And then there's a second journal to work on in the second half of the course, drawing topics from later chapters that we'll be reading. Another writing assignment this course is a formal essay. This essay is on the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. This is a formal paper, different than these other writings like the journal writings, which are somewhat informal. This will require that you write in paragraphs. It requires that you ask you to formulate a thesis. So it's not just a summary of events or information. It's actually a way to use information to support an argument or an analysis of the civil rights movement. There's a grading rubric in this assignment, so you pay attention to how the assignment's going to be graded or what are some of the requirements of it and so forth. There's also several quizzes, like I mentioned. There's a chapter quiz, there's a lesson quiz for every lesson. There's 4 exams for the course. There are also practice quizzes. You can see them, there's a link for them in the navigation menu on the left. And there is extra credit built into the course. And I encourage you to take advantage of that. Not required, but it could be helpful. Let me say something about communicating in the class. I think the best way, the most efficient way for us to communicate is through the message system in Blackboard. There's a link for that in the menu. It's near the top. It's called Messages. It's kind of like an internal email system. We can also communicate by email. I also included my phone number in the instructor info area. Just in case of an emergency or anything, you feel it necessary, you can call or text me. But I think for most of our communication can be through the message system at Blackboard. I'm online every day, several times a day actually, maybe a little less so on the weekend, but still I'm online on the weekend. And if you message me, I certainly will get back to you within 24 hours, probably a lot sooner than that. If you do send me a message or email and I don't get back to you, I don't respond within 24 hours, then I think you can assume that I didn't get it. And so you may want to message me again or maybe send me a text or something and make sure that I get the message. Well, that's about it for now. Good luck in the course. I look forward to working together over the next 8 weeks, and I hope you find the course interesting, and I hope you find it illuminating. It's my firm belief that not only are we learning history and the way things have happened in the past, but I hope it gives us some insight, and I think it does, into contemporary society today. So again, good luck with the course, and I will be seeing you soon in another presentation.